A corruption scandal is rocking the EU Parliament as a vice president remanded in custody after investigators found bags of cash in their home.
Roads remain blocked by ethnic Serb protesters in northern Kosovo as Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić vows to preserve peace. Snow descends across Europe with avalanche warnings signalled in Poland and flights grounded in the UK.
A corruption scandal is rocking the EU Parliament as MEPs gather in Strasbourg today. 6 people were questioned over the weekend in connection with a police investigation. Greek socialist MEP Eva Kaili was charged and remained in custody after Belgian investigators are said to have found bags of cash in her home. The police probe is looking into possible influence peddling by Qatar.
So today the World Cup in Qatar is a proof, actually, of how sports diplomacy can achieve a historical transformation of a country.
Of 70 years.
The scandal has already seen the Parliament Vice President Eva Kaili relieved of her duties following her arrest. Kaili was responsible for representing Parliament President Roberta Metsola in the Middle East. She has also been suspended by the Socialists and Democrats. Parliamentarians have voiced shock at the arrests and of the related detention of family members of a former Italian MEP who were alleged offered a holiday worth €100,000 by the Qataris. But some political observers are not surprised.
I think what this points to is a surprising revelation that this is only coming to light now. Given the amount of MEPs that are alleged to be involved in this, staff members, other stakeholders, and some of the drip petty corruption that we've seen among MEPs for years now when it comes to either allowances or other infractions, is that, yes, this could just be the tip of the iceberg.
Qatar has rejected any attempts to associate the accusations with itself.
Following a meeting of Serbia's National Security Council, Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić has vowed to maintain peace, but claims his army is ready to protect minority Serbs living in neighbouring Kosovo.
Before they receive orders, except for alerting and raiding combat readiness, we will try for 1,000,000 times to preserve peace.
Tensions remain high in northern Kosovo between the authorities there and ethnic Serbs. Roads have been blocked with heavy vehicles and trucks by Serb protesters after the arrest of a former Kosovo Serb police officer. He was part of a mass resignation of Serbs from the force last month, after Pristina said it would require Serbs to scrap Serbian license plates dating to before the 1998-99 Kosovo War that led to independence. Kosovo Prime Minister Albin Kurti described the protesters as criminal gangs and asked the NATO-led peacekeeping Kosovo force to remove the barricades. Vučić says he will not ask the NATO-led force to permit the deployment of 1,000 Serb troops in the Serbian-populated north of Kosovo, claiming they are being harassed there. It's a request most certain to be turned down, as it would contravene the 2-decade-old peace agreement.
As the war in Ukraine enters its 11th month, Russia continues to target civilian infrastructure. In Kherson, 2 people were killed and another 5 wounded after Moscow's troops shelled Ukraine's southern region. The governor of the city said the strikes destroyed a maternity ward, a cafe, as well as an apartment building. For the past weeks, Russia has concentrated all its efforts on trying to capture the city of Bakhmut. Their fierce fighting has descended into bloody trench warfare reminiscent of the First World War. According to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, Bakhmut has been reduced to a burnt ruin. Zelensky also said that more than 1.5 million people were without power in the southern Ukrainian city of Odessa after a night attack by drones. And confusion surrounds the situation in the Russian-occupied city of Melitopol after a Ukrainian attack on barracks there. Ukrainian officials have claimed scores of Russian casualties, while Moscow says only a handful of people were injured.
Since the war in Ukraine began, over 100,000 Ukrainians have found a temporary home in the UK. This young mother and her 2 sons are part of that statistic. They came to the country through its sponsorship scheme, which relies on the goodwill of strangers to house them for at least 6 months.
Now I'm live here and I'm happy to be here. I'm lucky to find a really nice woman. She helped me. She like my mom.
But other people have not been as lucky. Some local authorities had to step in to help over 2,000 Ukrainian families in England so they wouldn't end up on the streets.
Single women like me either don't work or work but earn a minimum wage that doesn't allow them to fully cover rent. And in this case, they either obtain homeless status and trust in the state, or they try to find a new sponsor, which is now almost impossible. Or they decide to leave England forever and return to Ukraine.
While there was an initial wave of public interest in housing Ukrainians at the start of the war, the number of sponsors has since dropped.
There aren't very many sponsors left, one way or the other. It's not even to say that there was some downward slope in interest. There was a lot of interest at the beginning, and a lot of those people took people in. Since then, there haven't been that many people coming forward, unfortunately.
As the cost of living crisis continues to spiral, it has a knock-on effect on the cost of housing people, potentially leaving refugees in desperate need out in the cold.
Blizzards across Poland have caused widespread traffic disruption and sparked avalanche warnings. The Polish Institute of Meteorology issued a weather warning across the country on Sunday as a Brigida cold weather front brought snow and strong winds to many regions. In the Polish area of Kopa Kondraka, volunteer mountain rescuers managed to rescue 3 people buried in an avalanche. Air travel has been disrupted in the UK. Scores of flights were cancelled at Heathrow, Gatwick and Stansted airports as freezing fog and heavy snow descended over London. The wintry weather is set to cause chaos for Monday rush hour travellers. In Puy-de-Dôme in central France, the first snowfalls were recorded. The cold weather represents a significant stress test for Europe's energy infrastructure, after several governments have warned of possible power outages in the upcoming winter months.
The much-anticipated European Film Awards has come to an end in the Icelandic capital. The competition was tough, but one film stood head and shoulders above the rest.
The European film 2022 is...
The film by Swedish director Ruben Östlund has already won the Palme d'Or at Cannes and also won prizes for Best Screenplay, Best Director and Best Actor.
So it's a grumpy brand, yeah.
A triumph for this film that tells the story of a luxury cruise that turns into a shipwreck.
In something way less expensive. It's H&M! Yay! Balenciaga! And H&M! Balenciaga!
A ferocious and trashy satire of the world of the uber-rich.
Looks paid for the tickets. Not bad, huh?
From arms dealers to influencers.
One of the teachers that I was working with now is my mentor, but he was a teacher when I was in the university. Someone asked him, so can cinema change the world? And he said, yes, but all movies are changing the world. So then it's about the competition to getting the most attention. And these awards is, of course, one way to get a lot of attention and increase the numbers in the cinemas and making more people look at your film. So if you have a message that you think is important, this is a good thing to fight for.
L'Islande et Reykjavik ont offert
Reykjavik offered European cinema the most beautiful of settings, with a high-flying international ceremony that showed all its richness and diversity. However, it was the film that almost won everything, Triangle of Sadness, a fine example of European co-production that brought together Sweden, Germany, France, Greece, Turkey, Denmark and the UK.
Et le Royaume-Uni. À Reykjavik, Frédéric Ponsard pour Euronews.